Turns out that most Americans are not buying the administration's justification for the attack on Iran's second most powerful official. That was, of course, General Qasem Soleimani. Uh, okay, so now this is according to a new insider poll. Following the airstrike, which escalated tensions to basically the worst that they've been in years, the administration gave a lot of terrible, sometimes contradictory explanations as to why they decided to target and kill Soleimani while he was in Iraq. So now there was reporting, and I talked about this from the Gray Zone, that said, and this was according to Iraq's foreign minister, or I'm sorry, prime minister, that Soleimani was on an Iraqi-backed mission of peace in the region. He was trying to broker between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Again, Iraq was in the middle of it, trying to broker that peace, right, when he was killed. So that explains why he was in Iraq in the first place. Now, that's not bad enough. We also find out later on that Trump had ordered the strike to curry favor with hawkish GOP senators so that they would come out on his side when it comes to impeachment. And now, the administration, of course, every excuse that they put out. Oh, imminent threat. No, it's revenge for their attacking our bases. But then there's an imminent threat to our troops in the area. So we had no choice. We had no choice. Well, that of course has unraveled, as we have found that there's absolutely no evidence that backed up their claims of an imminent strike. Now, on Sunday, for example, Secretary of Defense Mark Esper told Face the Nation that he, quote, didn't see the evidence to support Trump's claim that Soleimani was about to attack U.S. embassies. Because, of course, right? We have no evidence of an imminent attack. We have plenty of evidence that Trump was just doing this in order to help with his impeachment trial. And that's really sad when it comes down to it, that he would put us to the brink of war with another sovereign nation because he's afraid of impeachment. Now, the interesting part about this is that everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Now, the media is like, oh my God, can you believe this? That he would actually do something like this? Really? Really? But of course, the media, they have a different problem. They're cheerleaders of every single war in the Middle East. But however, let me go to the over 1,000 respondents in a SurveyMonkey poll that said this. Shortly after President Trump was impeached by the House of Representatives, the administration escalated the conflict with Iran. This led to sporadic armed conflict between the two nations. What best describes your view about these events? So that's the question they asked. And in all, a majority of Americans, about 60%, believe the timing of the strike was somehow connected to impeachment, including over a quarter of respondents who said the strike was, quote, definitely related to impeachment, compared to the just 27.8% who did not think the timing was linked. Those, 27.8% apparently are incredibly gullible and will buy anything the administration tells them, including from intelligence sources that literally 2 weeks ago, they said, we're all fake news and we're part of a deep state plot to take down Donald Trump. Ridiculous. Let me give you more of the breakdown here. 18.6%, they didn't believe the timing was linked whatsoever. 9.2%, the timing is probably not linked. 16.8% said the timing is possibly linked. 16.7% said that they thought the timing was probably linked. 26.5% say they believe the timing is definitely linked. And 12.5%, just weren't sure. Guess they weren't paying attention. So now I think that 60% should be a lot higher because I think it's obvious. It should be 80%, right? But I think a lot of that is because the mainstream media pushed the narrative of this attack without question, that there is an imminent threat. Here you had the establishment media doing their jobs, doing the job of and I'm not saying their jobs, doing the job of the administration in pushing these wars, into the job of the defense contractors in pushing for war with Iran. The media continues to push war in the Middle East. And by the way, made sure that we, don't question our intelligence agencies. Which, by the way, our intelligence agencies should be questioned. And I know, look, here's the thing. Here's the difference about the Mueller report and the Ukraine stuff, right? When it comes to the intelligence agencies, they actually have receipts. Back in 2003, they did not have receipts. They wouldn't show us the receipts, right? And so they just said, well, you got to take us at our word. Iraq is going to definitely attack us. Iraq is looking into doing weapons of mass destruction. They could even have a nuclear weapon. We got to stop the Iraqis. But we're not going to show you any evidence. You just have to trust us. Well, we've learned since then, and we've learned that we should not take our intelligence agencies at face value unless they have some evidence, some compelling evidence. And in this case, they absolutely had nothing. And yet the mainstream media continued to push out this narrative that, no, the intelligence agency, you're right. And they say that there is an imminent threat, and so we have to attack Iran. Bull crap. Complete and utter garbage. All right. Now, there's also a significant number of Republicans that no matter what, they're going to say, well, Soleimani was a bad guy, so bomb Iran. Bomb Iran, as John McCain used to say, right? They don't care. They think Iran bad, Muslims bad, we must bomb them all. They hate us because they hate us, and yet they wonder why, right? In reality, of course, things are much more complicated, as reality tends to be. We have been putting punishing sanctions in their country for years, which has touched every part of their economy. Thanks to Trump, we ended the nuclear deal, which actually stopped them from getting a nuclear weapon and actually led to the inflaming of tensions between our two countries. All for, by the way, and by the way, this is all for political gain. And then he adds in that attack on Soleimani for even more political gain. And unsurprisingly, it backfires on him because he doesn't think things through. Of course. And by the way, he tried to do exactly what he had charged President Obama with doing back in 2013, 2014, 2015, right? Obama's going to start a war with Iran. I think it was actually back in 2011 as well. He's going to start a war with Iran to help his sagging poll numbers. Well, now we had exactly that same situation with Donald Trump. And it backfired bigly. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.